A child walks past a mountain of copper. The copper is worth billions. Her school has no electricity. A country floats on oil. Its people line up for fuel. Another nation grows the world's coffee. Farmers there cannot afford to drink it. How can a land rich in resources remain poor? How can billions flow out while poverty stays in? This is not an accident. This is a system, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. In 1960, many African and Asian nations gained independence. They had land, minerals, labor, hope. But today, over half of the world's extreme poor live in resource-rich countries. Take the Democratic Republic of the Congo. It holds vast reserves of cobalt, essential for smartphones and electric cars, yet most of its citizens live on less than a few dollars a day. Or consider Nigeria, one of the largest oil producers in Africa, still battling widespread poverty. It feels like a paradox. Imagine owning a gold mine, but renting your shovel, borrowing the fuel, paying someone else to sell the gold, and owing interest on everything. That is the story of many poor nations. The trap begins with history. Colonial powers didn't design colonies to be self-sufficient. They designed them to extract. Railways led from mines to ports, not between cities. Education trained clerks, not engineers. When independence came, the structure stayed. Then came debt. In the 1970s, global banks had excess cash. They lent aggressively to developing nations, cheap loans, big promises. But when interest rates rose, debt exploded. Institutions like the International Monetary Fund stepped in. They offered rescue loans. But rescue came with conditions. Cut public spending, privatize industries, open markets to foreign competition. On paper, it meant efficiency. In reality, it often meant selling national assets cheaply, reducing healthcare, reducing education. Now add commodity dependence. If your country relies on one export, oil, copper, cocoa, your fate depends on global prices. When prices fall, revenue collapses, but debt payments remain fixed. It's like being paid based on weather while your bills never change. Then there's capital flight. Profits leave. Elites move wealth abroad. Multinationals shift earnings to low tax havens. The value extracted from the ground rarely circulates at home. The system drains faster than it fills. The turning point often looks like a boom. Oil prices surge. Copper demand spikes. Investors rush in. Governments borrow more, expecting growth to last. Then the cycle turns. In the 1980s, rising global interest rates triggered a debt crisis across Latin America. Entire economies stalled for a decade. In 2014, oil prices crashed. Export revenues in several African states plunged overnight. Currencies weaken, imports become expensive, inflation rises, citizens protest, governments tighten control. Instability scares investors away, and the country borrows again to stabilize the damage. Debt to pay debt. The cycle resets. The consequences are generational. Underfunded schools, fragile healthcare systems, limited infrastructure. Young talent emigrates, brain drain accelerates. Local industries struggle to compete with subsidized foreign goods. Meanwhile, global supply chains still rely on these nations for raw materials. In today's green energy transition, demand for cobalt and lithium is rising again. History is repeating, but the structure hasn't changed. Wealth leaves, debt remains. So why do poor countries stay poor? Because poverty is not just about resources, it's about power, about structure, about who controls value. When a nation exports raw materials but imports finished goods, it captures the smallest share of profit. Breaking the cycle requires diversification, institutional strength, negotiating power, and long-term investment in people. But the system is global, and change is slow. The unsettling truth? Poverty, in many cases, is not a failure of effort, it is the outcome of design. If resources don't guarantee wealth, then what actually makes a nation rich? Comment below. Is it policy, power, geography, or something deeper?